first of all, can we talk a little bit about what kind of research goes into playing a 1950s lesbian prostitute?
You know, I looked up so much about hookers of the era, and I really could only find a lot of clinical information about how sick they were, which is very interesting. And the reason I couldn't find that much is because it was such a quiet, underground, hidden society. Especially in the 50s, sex was so quiet. And they all had a lot of problems. Most all of them had pelvic inflammatory disease, so a lot of them were really, really ill. And then another thing that I did to try to do research was I watched Stonewall, and I watched as many documentaries that documented the homosexuality progression throughout America. From the beginning of the 1900s all the way through to now, because I think that's such an interesting element of Master Johnson's study. So I tried to do as much as I could.
And where is Betty when season 2 begins, and how is she spending all of her money?
She picked up right where we left off, and she is nouveau riche, honey. She is nouveau riche, so she's living her life in furs. But it's interesting to watch her navigate hiding her past. So that's where we are right now, and I don't know what happens next. I'm so excited.
So as the audience, we're always rooting for Libby to be happy. And now that she has the baby she's always wanted, what's kind of next on her roadmap for season 2?
Not happiness. No, I'll tell you that. But I think what's interesting is we see sides of her in the second season that may make you not root quite as hard for Libby, which is interesting.
I like that so far. Okay. Does the baby make her want to work her stuff out with Bill, or are we going to see maybe some other love interest for you in season 2?
I'm definitely not allowed to answer that question. I think, yes, she's always trying to make it work with Bill, but there are a few people who are going to come into her life and change things.
We know that Dr. Langham was a little bit naughty and got a girl from the study pregnant last season.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit naughty.
So will he rein in his playboy ways a little bit going into season 2?
It's funny. Yes and no. I mean, the season 2 opens where there doesn't seem to be really much of a change for Austin, but then very quickly something happens, and we sort of see this event that happens to him. Happens to him is an interesting choice of words. Sort of, alter his trajectory in a different way than where we saw him in season 1 for the run of season 2. So, so yes, we will, and then no, we won't. But then, he freely admits to be a guy who doesn't really know why he does what he does. With women, he has a family, he loves his kids, but why he does it, and I don't think this is a guy who's like really big on self-reflection either. Like, oh, why am I like this? I just think and we'll see, because we're very early on in shooting. We're just about a weekend. I have a feeling that, he may examine that a little bit, but I don't really know to what point. I would hope that he would go deep, but I don't think so. I think a guy who's in pain might try to cover that pain up with pleasure, and that's certainly, I think, a lot of what was happening in the first season. But he has a sense of fun, and it's been a lot of fun to play him.